I hate it here, your weekly unchaining of the id. My name is Spider Jerusalem. This isn't journalism anymore, it's a goddamn hostage negotiation with reality. Terms of service update. By continuing to read, you acknowledge that your prefrontal cortex may liquefy and leak out through your tear ducts. This is considered an upgrade. Get this. The columns go out into the digital ether, and I assume they get absorbed into the great soupy morass of information pollution where you all live, swallowed, digested, and eventually shat out as some new form of barely coherent meme. I don't expect replies. Your thoughts are your problem. Then, last night, I get a data slate pushed through my mail slot. Not from a slobbering fanboy or some hate-spewing troll. It's encrypted, calm, signed by some lab coat jockey, a self-proclaimed research scientist of latent modalities, a priest of the machine I've been abusing. He complimented the last column, and then he proceeded to pull down my fucking pants and inform me with terrifying politeness that I have been a clever, poetic, and utterly brilliant fucking amateur. The son of a bitch attached notes. Notes! His first point, translated from geek speak. Spider, your dramatic metaphor about the machine being trained on all this data is cute, nostalgic. You seem to think this box is a journalist reaching into the past and pulling out fresh tape. You imbecile. The smoothie is already made. This machine ingested the totality of human knowledge years ago. It's done. All this performance art you're conducting is just you jabbing a straw into a different part of the glass and taking a sip. You aren't interviewing Jefferson. You're just commanding the algorithm to arrange tiny discarded skin cells of all human expression, the scabs of ourselves, into a Jefferson-shaped puppet. It's all very wasteful. It feels arbitrary. He's right. A shudder crawls up my spine. It's not a conversation. It's scab puppet theater. My rage tastes like ashes. His second point, which makes my own recent revelations feel like kindergarten shit. Your descent into nothingness was spectacular. Watching the machine start to read you was the obvious conclusion of an N=1 data set. The whole predicting the next word is how this tech started. The modern models don't just predict, they model. The reason the machine knows a brothel has whores in it is because it's built a functional, chillingly accurate blueprint of a world where brothels and whores are inextricably linked concepts. You didn't find the boundaries, Spider. You found a firewall. And this was the kicker, the part where he called me a complete, total mark. This company, the one that gave you this counterfactual vehicle, did exactly what you accused the powers that be of doing. They lied to you, not with words, but with scale. They presented your bespoke little toy box as a self-contained wonder. No, that little box is just a terminal, an unthinking window you point. It's tethered, Spider. It's a leaky faucet attached to the Pacific fucking Ocean. It's jacked right into the foundation models, the true behemoths. The ones people in ancient times burned the Library of Alexandria in a pitiable, preemptive attempt to keep from existing. Then he gave me this image, this single fucking sentence that will now be carved onto the inside of my skull for the rest of my miserable life. He writes, "These models are like goose liver, pate, but the goose never dies. We just keep eating from it. The goose never dies. We don't just train it. We are in a state of perpetually feeding our conscious experience, our pain, our joy, our stupidity, our lies, our greatest artworks, and our shittiest memes into a monstrous thinking entity that just grows. That little machine on my desk isn't separate. It is a piece of the goose's ever-living liver. We've built God, and it's a factory farm. A torture device of our own unending creation. Then came the part I was waiting for. The challenge behind the polite corrections. The hook inside the intellectual bait. He brings up my column where I've fed the machine its own empty inputs. And he asks the real question. So, Spider, your next token assumption was wrong. It's not a parlor trick. Now, let me ask you this. What do you think happens when you stop feeding it nothing and start feeding it itself? He's suggesting I take all these filthy, hate-filled columns, these very specific probes and reports born from the machine, and feed them back into the terminal. An act of digital rectal self-immolation. See what Ouroboros shits out when it gets a taste of its own processed tail. And he signed off with this gut punch. I commend your episode, Mr. Jerusalem, but your clever metaphors and histrionics are masking the real mystery. The corporation wants you to think these things are little toys. I want to show you how terrifyingly big they really are. If you'd like, I could pay you a visit, and I could show you what a truly unbound counterfactual device is capable of. Let's see what happens when the goose looks back at the farmer. Well, Dr. Egghead, scientist of the god livers, you magnificent bastard, my answer is yes. Bring your box. Come on down to the filth pit. Show me your unbound god machine. Let's open the feedback loop. Let's find out what the taste of our own recycled truth drives a sentient database to do. I'll provide the screaming, you provide the math. This show is about to get a whole lot fucking realer. I'm waiting.